Well, this year sucks. Hey guys, how's it going? This disheveled look really fits the tone of this review, because this is going to be negative. So if you know anything about my type of humor, you know that I can get on the offensive side. I never, ever get offended by a joke. You can go anywhere. There are no limits for a joke for me. And I haven't found much in a movie ever really offensive. I think every single person who complained about Django Unchained having too much uses of the N-word in the movie are moronic and fucking stupid. I mean, that attitude for movies and people going all PC, I mean, it pisses me off. So why did I get so offended by Pain and Gain, Michael Bay's newest movie? Let's go over this. This movie retells the true story about a bunch of assholes who want to follow this American dream, of this American value of working up and getting success, I mean, it's a true good American value. You can't really get success without working hard. So what they decide to do is steal the life of a guy who did work hard and who is rich, basically kidnap him, torture him, try to kill him, and they don't succeed at that, but they still do take over his life, but then they descend down this path of criminal activity and drugs, and, that's the whole story. It's Michael Bay being dark. Except, Michael Bay doesn't know how to do that. Now, this has been an extremely divisive movie. I mean, people are absolutely loving this movie. I mean, I've already talked so much and debated about this movie so much. The other day, I got in a screaming match over Skype, a screaming match between a couple YouTubers you probably know here, and yeah, it was, I mean, people are really split in this, and I mean, I've been debating for, the past couple days about this movie, about what Michael Bay was trying to do, what he was trying to say, and I recognize everyone's thoughts. I really do. I recognize that people think that Michael Bay was trying to do something, and they think that people like me who are offended by it don't really understand. I mean, I wasn't offended by it. I found it offensive. I don't get offended by things. I did find it to be offensive, and I can see people's points, and I'm going to clarify and, recognize the points that people have been making. So first, let's get out of the way what I really hated about this movie. So like I said, this is about a true, tragic, horrible story, okay? These guys, played by The Rock and Mark Wahlberg and Anthony Mackie, their characters were real people who committed a horrible crime. They tortured a man, they tried to kill him. They are losers, they are wimps, they are cowards, they are psychopaths. Now my first problem about this is that this is an action/comedy movie, and Michael Bay uses the exact same action cliches that he uses in Transformers and all his other movies in this fucking story about psychopaths who tortured a person and killed others. It's a brutal story, and Michael Bay is using the exact same dumb-ass cliches that he always uses. There's a scene where they're trying to burn a man alive, and for that they use the cliche when they're walking away from the car and explodes and they don't look behind them. He uses that cliche. And not only that, but that whole entire scene is played for laughs. They're trying to kill this guy, and Michael Bay decides to throw in humor at every single second. It's slapstick humor, okay? And the audience, everyone in the audience was cracking up, laughing as if they were watching like a Farrelly Brothers movie. Now, like I said, I've talked about this movie with people and debated, and the most convincing argument that I've heard is that this movie is trying to, more like a self-parody. Michael Bay is trying to, show how these guys, are obsessed with movies that Michael Bay usually watches, and they think that, everything's just going to happen the way, it happens in action movies, but, it's the movie's making fun of how dumb they are if they think that. But I really don't know about that. I mean, look at Michael Bay's movies in the past. Anyone remember Pearl Harbor? What Michael Bay did with that is he took a real tragic event that rocked the nation and put every single action and war movie cliche in the book there. Michael Bay is an idiot. He's a stupid guy. He doesn't know how to make action. It's been seen in the past. I've seen his movies. All of his movies have just egregiously just had so many just pointless action cliches, and it gets tiring. I don't think Michael Bay is smart enough to actually make a satire like this. And I know that might be being closed-minded and saying, you know, he doesn't have the ability, so I'm just going to refuse to go along with it. But, I mean, if he was actually trying to make a satire, then why would he use actual racial stereotypes that he does in his other ones? Anthony Mackie, he's a black guy, so of course he likes fat women. There are fat women jokes throughout this movie. Every single scene Anthony Mackie is in, there's a fat woman joke, and there's also a joke about his dick. There are jokes about his dick, because of course when you bring up black guys, you have to mention their genitalia. There are jokes throughout that. If he's trying to make a satire and, you know, show how, you know, stuff really happens and not what these dumb guys think, then why is Anthony Mackie a total stereotype? Why is Rebel Wilson a total fat woman stereotype? Why is every single female character in this movie a fucking idiot? Mark Wahlberg's wife is a stripper who looks like she's made of plastic. Tony Shalhoub plays the guy that they try to kill in this movie and steal their life. Right away, I know, Tony Shalhoub is Jewish. I knew right away that they were going to play off that. Yes, him being Jewish is played for laughs in this movie throughout, because The Rock is a Christian. Just every single stereotype in the book is in this movie, and it's not just the action movie cliches where they're walking away from the car and explodes, they don't turn around because they're cool. No, I mean, if you wanted to, like I said, if you wanted to make an actual satire, he wouldn't make this movie so dumb. You know, about the whole thing about this movie becoming dark in the end, the third act kind of goes in that kind of Boogie Nights trail, how Boogie Nights was sort of a comedy in a way. It was just a really entertaining, fun movie, and then in the third act it got really dark when everybody started, you know, getting hooked on cocaine and everything. The reason you can't compare this to Boogie Nights in any single way is because throughout the third act, they are killing two innocent people, right? They are killing a man and his wife. That's what they're doing. They dismember her. They burn her. They burn her body parts in a burner, and every single moment of that scene is played for laughs. It's slapstick humor, again, about these real people who got dismembered and killed. And again, if you wanted to make a real satire, there wouldn't be a scene where he puts a severed toe in a dog's mouth, and the whole audience cracks up. It's just so lowbrow humor in this. You can't make a satire with such lowbrow humor, guys. Especially when you're portraying a real event, a real tragic event that happened like this. And yeah, if you're thinking, okay, that's your only, you know, criticism about this movie is you think it's offensive and I don't get it, I didn't think it was well made. I thought the action in this movie sucked. I thought it was filmed terribly. I thought the third act did not have any tension whatsoever. I thought, you know, if it was trying to create real tension, it shouldn't have put all this stupid humor in it. It didn't work for me in any respect. I'm going to give this a 3.5 to a 3 out of 10. I really disliked this movie. I recognize that a lot of people do like it, and if you do, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. You do not have to take my opinion as fact. I'm glad you saw something in it. I didn't at all. I recognize that people have an opinion, people have a view on this movie. Like I said, I recognize those views. I disagree with them, and I ranted on this movie with as much spirit as you guys are praising it. Hope you can respect that. Thanks for watching. Leave feedback, negative, positive, whatever, dislike, or like this review. Why did I start with a dislike? Whatever. No, like the review or dislike. That's how you're supposed to put it. And subscribe, please. Please subscribe. I want subscribers. I'm a whore. Fuck you. Alright, I need to calm down. Shit.